Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And oh my god, how long until Neil Patrick Harris gets canceled?
Well, now he's going to.
He's gonna get canceled, and it's really unfortunate because I actually like NPH.
I do like him quite a bit too.
I think he's a great actor. I think he's a funny guy. I am really upset I did not get to see him last year at the Candlelight Processional.
I was going to mention that he is one of the hosts of the Candlelight Processional, and people go nuts. They come in just to watch him, and he is like, they love him over there.
Yeah, he's a big Disney fan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. So we're going to talk about his controversial statement, I guess, that he has come out and said that he thinks it's totally fine. It's actually sexy for straight people to play gay roles, probably in light of some of the controversy around like James Corden playing a gay character in that movie on Netflix, The Prom or whatever the heck it's called, which
it's Prom, of course. Prom. It's Prom.
And he's been getting a lot of pushback for that. Now, Neil Patrick Harris played a womanizer on TV for many, many years.
Well, he did that one movie too about whatever ways to die in the West or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He plays characters like that all the time, and he's good at it.
Their kids love him as Count Olaf, so
yeah, they do.
They did. He was better than Jim Carrey.
So he plays a lot of characters that aren't gay. And you know what? I never cared. Did you ever care? Were you personally offended?
No.
No, I didn't care because he was such a good actor. He was perfect for the parts he played.
Acting.
I know, right?
It's called acting. All right, so we're going to talk about this because he is from our generation. You know, we grew up watching Doogie Howser,
yeah.
And which is getting rebooted, by the way. I don't know why they're doing that, but
they can't make anything new.
He's going to have a different opinion on things, I think, because of that. So before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 172,000 subs. Hoping for 200,000 soon.
Woohoo!
Thank you for the support. We do cover pop culture news. We have been talking a lot lately, about staying in your own lane because this is
we're not saying that because Hollywood people keep saying that.
Mostly we've been talking about voice actors and animation staying in their own lane, but this is happening with acting roles too, where actors and actresses are being shamed for playing characters outside of their own race or gender or whatever.
Unless you're coming out as trans. Then apparently you can play both roles and that's completely fine.
Ask Elliot Page about that.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's just, yeah. So
this is NPH saying it's sexy for straight actors to play gay roles. And he's giving a Russell T Davies AIDS drama. It's saying Russell T Davies, Doctor Who.
Yeah,
when Doctor Who was good.
He used to write good Doctor Who. Yeah.
He used to write good Doctor Who. Also a gay man. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Gay man in charge of Doctor Who. And it did not feel like it was constantly pushing any kind of agenda.
Right.
It just happened.
Imagine that.
Golly gee willikers. So the notion of straight actors playing gay roles has been controversial in Hollywood in recent years. I'd say last year.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially surrounding high-profile LGBTQ films like Call Me By Your Name or Ammonite. But Neil Patrick Harris, who is currently starring in Russell T Davies' AIDS drama miniseries It's a Sin, now on Channel 4, thinks that casting should be driven by sexual preference and, in fact, straight actors playing gay characters is sexy. I think there's something sexy about casting a straight actor to play a gay role if they're willing to invest a lot into it.
That's because it's acting. If they're going to put the time into the role and they're the best actor for the role or actress for the role, they should be allowed to play the role.
In our world that we live in, you can't really, as a director, demand that an actor be given a sexual orientation, he said. Who's to determine how gay someone is?
That's a very good point.
That is, because that's the thing about Neil Patrick Harris. Anyway, you see him, outside of his roles, and he's not a gay stereotype.
No.
At all. Like, if NPH wouldn't tell you he was gay, most people probably wouldn't think he's gay.
But that's the problem too. The fact that, that you're only a stereotype, but then they're mad when a straight guy plays to the gay stereotype. You know what I mean? Like James Corden. So it's like you cannot win.
Funny thing about James Corden, I always thought he was gay. I did. I was like, this guy, let me see here, the hair, the mannerisms, and he's really in the Broadway. And I'm like, oh, he's married to a woman?
So but see, that's stereotyping. You're not allowed to do that. You have it's levels of gay. And it's like, and you shouldn't just assume. And I agree with what Neil Patrick Harris is saying.
So he said, How I Met Your Mother, he played Womanizer. He did.
And he did a great job because he was perfect for the part.
He was a standout character.
That's called acting.
Acting. I played a character for 9 years who was nothing like me. The multiple Emmy Award-winning actor said, I would definitely want to hire the best actor. As advocate right here, advocate, pointed out, Russell T. Davies, who also created Queer as Folk. And
I didn't know that.
Yes, he did. And more recently, years and years, previously denounced casting straight actors in gay roles. You wouldn't cast someone able-bodied and put them in a wheelchair. You wouldn't black someone up. Authenticity is leading us to joyous places. But Neil Patrick Harris disagrees. And I'm wondering
I disagree too.
Yeah, I'm wondering how long until he gets canceled. Davies added, I'm not being woke about this. I feel strongly if I cast someone in a story.
Well, he's allowed to do it because he's the one making the...
Yeah, he's making that call.
So he can do that. But then if somebody feels differently and they're the person in charge of the story, then they're allowed to cast how they would like to cast. I mean, I have no problem with, Neil Patrick Harris playing straight people.
No.
I don't care. I mean, go ahead. If he's the best person for the role, more power to him.
Does he bring that character to life? Is that a
He's
good
fantastic.
character?
I mean, I think pretty much any character you give him, he'll be able to do a good job with.
He made Smurfs watchable.
Yeah. He played a straight guy in that too.
If you can make Smurfs watchable, you deserve kudos. I mean, I'm just like, what the hell? So other actors who have recently chimed in on the topic of straight actors playing gay are Henry Golding, who plays a gay man in Monsoon.
And he also plays Snake Eyes because you can't be a ninja unless you're Asian.
Because Kung Fu. And Viggo Mortensen, who directs and stars in Falling, about a gay man's relationship with his homophobic father. Now, I do believe in some cases that, a person of a particular orientation or race, whatever, is going to have better insight into a character because they've lived it to some degree. But I don't think that's a blanket.
No, because that's called acting.
It's called acting.
And a lot of actors go and do research for their roles. And there's a lot of actors. Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he played his brother, and his brother was, special needs. And you saw it, you would have thought he was. But it's going to be very hard to find somebody that was as, how I word this. As the character was not somebody you could go find an actor to probably play that has the same issues to be able to get it done in a time and to follow the directions you want it to follow. You know what I'm saying? That it's just not going to be, that it's possible to be capable by somebody with the same disorder, but sometimes it's very unlikely that it's going to be able to come across and work out to a place where you can stay on schedule and all this other things. And in that situation, I can see it. But it's like, this is ridiculous, the whole idea that, you could only ever play exactly what you are.
Well, I mean, it comes up a lot because we had, Scarlett Johansson turning down or quitting the role she had as trans person, but
Elliot Page can play both.
Yes, Elliot Page can still play a woman.
Elliot Page decides that he's a man, which is fine, more power to him, but he's not going to decide he's a man enough to not play female roles. Now he can play both, but he's the only one. See, that's where there's a problem,
Rules for thee, not for me.
Exactly.
Neil Patrick Harris, he's Gen X. He seems pretty based, I think. I mean, everything I've seen from him, he seems like he's a pretty solid guy.
I know people love him.
Yeah.
And he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, he is. So I mean, and again, this probably came up because of the James Corden thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of backlash on that.
Now, I just thought the movie looked bad.
I have not watched it. Do not care. Most things I don't care.
But it doesn't interest us. But yeah, so this movie was supposed to be, it was a prom movie. It was supposed to be this big, like, they were making such a big deal because we talked about, like, what's the deal with prom? And like, oh, this is a celebration of prom, and then it's like, oh, but it's problematic because of James Corden.
Yeah, and of course, prom
face.
now just means, middle grade cartoons and
apparently
and LGBTQ plus, even though prom's always been like prom. I guess I'm old.
We're getting old. That's the problem. But James Corden, there were people literally accusing him of gay face. Now, if he did a stereotype, but then I'm thinking, wait a second. We gave Robin Williams a pass. The Birdcage.
I know, but that was a different time.
That was a different time. That
people
wasn't
weren't
current
so
year.
Their own ass.
That's not current year. Everything changes current year. So
it's just ridiculous, and I'm just tired of it. Yet we don't cast, real redheads to play redhead roles.
That's true.
We change characters that are redheads, to race bend them or gender bend them.
Throw a wig on them.
Right. All the time. And that's okay. I mean, that'd be like as dumb as me saying only redheads can play redheaded roles because redheads genetically, there's a reason there's stereotypes about us because a lot of times that they genetically have found that it is true in some cases. So no one who's not a redhead knows our life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stupid. I would never say that because I know it's not the same thing. It's not exactly the same thing. But I'm like, it's a similar argument that's dumb.
Yeah.
It's a dumb argument.
Yeah. So, this is a conversation that's going to be had. We've been talking about voice actors, and I think what happens is a lot of times the discussion comes from a good place. Like, oh, maybe we really need to rethink, getting people of a certain race into roles of a certain race instead of just, pretending people are Asian or whatever. I get that, but it goes from having that conversation to overcorrection where Hollywood just starts like throwing people overboard. We saw it with the voice actor.
But that was the voice actor thing. We had Asian people playing Asian characters, and now they're being mad and saying they're cutting them out of stuff because they're stereotyped. But they were Asian people playing the Asian characters.
We have black people playing Asian characters. Several. I can think of several. Shredder, that was Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. Phil Lamar played Samurai Jack.
I just if you're the perfect person for the job, I don't think it should matter.
It shouldn't. But everything now is being looked at through the racial lens, the sexual identity lens. And I think
identity lens in general.
The identity lens. I think eventually it's going to get to a point where we're going to reach, God, I'd like to say it, every day surprises me. We'll reach peak idiocy where it's like Hollywood, if Hollywood followed all of its own rules, it would put itself out of business.
Yes.
And they'll have to be like, yeah, maybe we need to rein this in a little bit. I think there are conversations that need to be had. I think ideally, you want to pick the best person for the job, which may or may not include them actually having, life experience doing a certain thing. But if you have a person who has real life experience being a certain kind of person or doing a certain thing or whatever, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily the best actor.
If you're playing just what you are, you're not acting.
No.
You're being you on screen and getting paid for it.
It's like, what is this, Galaxy Quest? Like, you're lying. You're liars.
It's like you get these people that they're themselves in every movie. Like, that's the running joke. It's like they don't know how to act, so they're just them in every movie. And that's what you're going to get. That's going to be everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like, why don't we just
Where's your skill involved?
Just turn everything into reality TV and call it a day, because that's what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting because he is running against the grain at this point, and they're
going to call him out for it.
Yeah, they are.
He's not wrong, and he's fantastic. And as a straight character or a gay character, he's just a really good actor.
He is,
and that's kind of the point, isn't it?
What's supposed to be. But this is Hollywood. We don't really care about how good the actors are. We just care about what gets the headlines and gets the clicks, right? So we're going to wrap it up?
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.